I remember literally, like, this is so sad, but I remember being like 11 years old and standing up like on the toilet and like looking at my thighs and like pulling the skin back on my thighs to make them skinnier and like see what it would look like if I had less like meat on my bones.
Just saw a video from a girl, definitely no older than 14, with almost 1 million likes, talking about how she's seeing her collarbones less, and you know what that means. And if you check the comments on the video, there are thousands, and I mean thousands of other people saying that means it's time to eat less, that they love seeing their collarbones, it makes them feel so skinny, that they love the feeling of being dizzy when they stand. This is incredibly triggering content, it is incredibly dangerous content, and it's evident that all of the things that we've been consuming and the ways that the algorithm is pushing this very thin body back onto us is impacting the children.
Social media is supposed to connect people, build communities, and give everyone a voice. But for the generations growing up on social media such as YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, the story is different. What we hear is anxiety, loneliness, body dysmorphia, and other mental health issues. Over the past few days, the media has been ablaze with reports about the $6 million lawsuit that found Meta and YouTube liable for harming children through social media addiction. When the verdict dropped, parents jubilated. For many parents, this felt like the long-awaited justice. But hold on, stop clapping for a minute. How did kids get hooked on social media in the first place? If screens raise a generation, who handed them the screens? The iPads, the iPhones. Hi, I'm Cecy K, and in today's video, we are taking a closer look at why parents share responsibility for the psychological effects that social media has on kids. So let's get into the video. A 20-year-old woman was awarded $6 million for suing Meta, which is Instagram and Facebook, and Google's YouTube over her childhood addiction to social media. The young lady started using YouTube at the age of 6 and Instagram at the age of 9, spending 16 hours a day developing mental health issues as well as body dysmorphia. She looked at Instagram when she woke up each day, and she continued throughout the day until she went to sleep at night. This led to difficulties at school and at home with her mental health. She watched YouTube videos for hours. That's because the platform's autoplay feature, where a new video starts after the previous one has ended, kept her on it. Also, failing to get enough likes on social media left her feeling insecure and ugly. So she was diagnosed with body dysmorphia at the age of 9 or 10, and she engaged in self-harm by the age of 10. So literally, her childhood years were taken over by her use of Instagram and YouTube. And this is the story for many children out there. They feel trapped and unable to stop scrolling. And the algorithm traps them in endless comparisons, slowly turning self-awareness into self-criticism.
These kind of scenes really make me sad because there's no connection with the parents and the parents are just leaving the kids, leaving them alone with devices, and I don't know how long they take. They're just like too busy for the kids.
And to promise that we are not going to raise iPad children, please.
As a Gen Z who majored in education for 1 semester and worked in childcare for about 8 or 9 years, and who has many younger relatives, I think I speak for many of us when I say that Gen Alpha, or the iPad kid generation,
it's YouTube. All of these kids are obsessed with YouTube and obsessed with watching like Roblox videos, any kind of videos of like other kids playing. It's actually rotting their brains. Block YouTube if you have young kids. Do not let them watch that.
There's absolutely no doubt that the big tech deserves the blame for creating platforms that are very addictive. Algorithms were engineered to keep young users scrolling. They used psychological tricks such as infinite scroll, autoplay, likes and rewards, keeping the kids engaged and hooked. We used to worry about kids staying out late. Now we worry about them staying online for too long. Kids used to say, 5 more minutes outside. Now it is 5 more minutes on my phone. But the bigger question is, did children sign up for Instagram at the age of 6 by themselves? Who is handing the kids the dopamine machine that traps them in a dopamine loop? Why is social media raising the kids? Here's the truth we don't want to face. Many parents were figuring out their own relationships with tech while raising kids in the same digital world. Some even brag online about their toddlers loving their iPads. On TikTok, people are now saying that millennials actually created the iPod kids, who can't even focus and interact normally. Now those same parents are actually shocked that the younger generations can't unplug, that they are anxious, they are glued to TikTok for hours a day. Parents are watching their children slip into virtual loops they can't compete with. Even with rules, restrictions, and parental controls, most children still find their way around them. Gen Z and Gen Alpha has grown up never knowing a world without algorithm. In so many homes, tablets have become pacifiers and the algorithm has become a babysitter. Social media is literally filling the awkward silences at dinner tables. Parents complain about how kids don't talk anymore, they just scroll. But the reality is, the parents are scrolling right next to the kids at dinner tables. So when Gen Z and Gen Alpha show signs of tech addiction or bold disconnected online personas, that didn't happen in a vacuum. They learned online behavior by watching adults glued to their screens. What happened to modeling good behavior? Because kids copy what they see, not what you lecture them about.
Get your children off social media. There's a massive link between social media and child depression and anxiety.
Mental health. I think people are addicted to it and don't admit it to themselves. And I have a tremendous amount of fear about where this is headed. I'm thrilled to see Australia ban social media for kids 16 and under. I don't think phones belong in schools. And we're complete idiots for allowing kids to have phones on them when they're supposed to be in a school environment learning.
The 5 things I would never let my kids do as a cybersecurity expert are: 1, I would never expose them to social media, because social media and its addictive algorithms are responsible for a 400% increase in suicides over the past 10 years.
There are 2 major lessons we should learn from this lawsuit. The first one is that corporations manipulate us, and the second one is that we let them. Parents, schools, and even governments underestimate how these apps have rewired our brains. The truth is, these apps were never built for children. They are designed for engagement, not well-being. Every like, every swipe, every notification is part of an attention economy that depends on keeping the users hooked. For adults, it can be draining. And for a child whose brain is still wiring impulse control, identity, social awareness, this can be devastating. Over the past decades, psychologists have warned that social media correlates with skyrocketing rates of anxiety, depression, and body dissatisfaction in children. Platforms like TikTok and Instagram literally amplify content that makes kids feel worse. Unrealistic beauty standards, social comparisons, and endless validation cycles. So yes, Meta and YouTube built the machine, but families handed the kids the keys and said, drive it however you want. Accountability can't just come from the courtrooms, it has to come from homes. Maybe the next generation won't just sue big tech. Maybe they will ask their parents, why did you let me sink into that world so early? Don't get me wrong, I'm not letting big tech off the hook. Meta and YouTube absolutely built attention traps and targeted kids. They deserve to pay for that. But blaming them alone is too easy, because at the end of the day, tech companies are going to do what tech companies do: make money. It's parents who decide how early their kids get plugged into that system. So maybe the real question isn't why social media is so addictive. Maybe it is, why did we let it raise our kids? So should the courts hold social media companies responsible? Absolutely. Should parents rethink how they hand digital freedom to their kids? Even more so. So yeah, big tech deserves the lawsuits. But parents need a wake-up call too. If you're mad at the platform, cool. But don't pretend that parenting hasn't gone digital too. Because raising the next generation in a world run by algorithms means that you can't afford to be a passive observer. You have to be a parental firewall. The technology won't change overnight, but maybe with accountability and with awareness, we can start rebuilding a healthier kind of connection. One where kids grow up looking at the world around them, not just the screens in their hands. Because kids aren't born addicted, they are taught it. This is not about fear either, it's about protection. Let children learn friendship, confidence, and curiosity in the real world before they are thrown into the world that profits from their insecurities. They will have a lifetime to scroll, but only one childhood to live. There's a whole world outside the screen waiting to grow your child's imagination, confidence, and empathy. Real traits built through experience, not engagement metrics. Every hour spent offline isn't lost time. It is gained life. I'm curious, who do you think deserves to be blamed more? Big tech or parents? Put it in the comment section down below. And if you enjoyed this video, do not forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye!